Thanks for tuning in to the second episode of Careers, Values and Vocations Women's Stories. We hope this series encourages members of our community to explore the different avenues available to them and the satisfaction of doing so. Today, we are joined by a Roehampton graduate, Tania Estavillo, who set up her own social enterprise, Shak, after winning £15,000 worth of funding from Natwest. We look forward to hearing about her journey.
Hi Tania, my name is Natra. I'll be interviewing you today. I'm currently a student at Roehampton studying my Masters in Business. So my first question for you is, can you tell me a little bit more about your business and your story of how you came to open up your own business?
So I studied international business here at Roehampton, and after graduating, I did what most graduates do, and I looked for a corporate job that would allow me to work my way up. And I knew that I wanted to be the director of a company one day, but I didn't consider entrepreneurship at the time. So I spent 7 years working at Harrods and I worked my way up to head office. And I absolutely loved it at first, but I started getting headaches every day, lower back pain from sitting at the computer all day. And I just couldn't sleep at night. And I started feeling miserable and I just stopped looking after myself. So it wasn't until I reached burnout for the second time that I reevaluated my values and I decided to just start my own business. So it was the end of 2019, a few months before the pandemic. I flew to Hawaii to see some relatives and I just started jotting down all my ideas on paper. I wanted to identify what my highest values were, figure out what was meaningful to me. And I remember writing down how I overcame my own health experiences. And then that's how I came up with the Health Shack idea. So as soon as I came back to London, I started looking for funding and I came across the Natwest Back Her Business initiative. And I learned that access to funding is actually the #1 barrier for females starting and scaling their own businesses in the UK. And if women started and scaled their own businesses at the same rate as men, it would actually boost the UK economy by £250 billion. So it's crazy, right? Yeah. So I wanted to join this competition and I didn't know how well I would do. And I actually managed to raise over £10,000 in crowdfunding and I won second place. So I got a £5,500 grant from Natwest and that allowed me to start my own business and launch my clinic here in the middle of a global pandemic. And we're just based in Chiswick. And at the moment, we're offering chiropractic treatments. But my next steps are to scale up and include other treatment modalities under one roof.
Wow, that's actually really inspirational, especially with funding and stuff. I think that's so important, and a lot of students probably don't know about that. So that's really interesting. My second question is, so over your student and working life, what has led you to choose entrepreneurship as a career path? Have any particular values or principles influenced your career choices?
So I grew up in a single parent household in a council estate in West London. And I'm the eldest of 4 siblings and we didn't have much money growing up. So I would help my mum with her many hobbies and to make some extra cash. So I remember she had side hustles in flower arranging, event planning, cleaning. She even once started a business making these Filipino sausages called longanisa. So I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a successful businesswoman. I just didn't know what I was going to sell or what industry I'd be in. So it's a bit crazy that I've started a business in healthcare because I didn't study health or medicine at university, but I've had some real life experiences with my own health and the health of my family members. So my grandma, she had kidney problems and she was going to dialysis 3 times a week. I remember I'd drop her to Charing Cross Hospital in the morning, and then I'd drive to university with her wheelchair in the back of my car, and then I'd go pick her up after my lectures. And we were really close. So when she passed away, it was really hard for me. And by that time, I had already started my graduate job. So I went to see my secondary school friend, David, who now, like, he's now my business partner and my partner in everything. I didn't know that was going to happen, but he helped me with all of my aches and my pains, and especially my headaches. So I haven't had headaches since. And like, I was at a really good place. Then my uncle was diagnosed with colon cancer, and he only had 3 months to live. And like, that was like my wake up call. And I realized that the one thing that all three of us had in common was that we were all getting sick because of lifestyle illnesses. And we all like had the lifestyle illnesses, but in different degrees. And I realized that we live in a culture where we just wait for things to get really bad before we ask for help, or before we go to the doctors, get some prescribed medicine, and just cover up the pain. So that was why I wanted to start Health Shak, because I've been really lucky to have a support system of family and friends. And I know a lot of people don't have that. So like, our mission is to change the way that people think about their bodies and their health, and to shift attitudes from curing disease to the prevention of it.
Thank you for that. So how have your beliefs, values, or the principles you live by informed how you run your business?
Yeah. I believe that everything is connected, from the mind to the body, inside to out. And it's a philosophy that's deeply rooted in Health Shak's core values and core principles. So when it comes to the running of the business, we acknowledge that health is so individual that a lot of us find it really difficult to talk about to each other. So it was important for me to get the community involved from the very beginning, to have those family values and to spark a conversation so that we can all be in control of our own health along with the experts. So that was really important to me. Another value that is deeply rooted in Health Shak is that David and I are the type of people that will go to our favorite places over and over again, whether that's like a restaurant or a shop or wherever. And the main thing that always brings us back is the service. So coming from a place like Harrods, delivering exceptional customer service and going above and beyond client expectations is a part of who I am. So when you come to Health Shak, we'll give you the red carpet treatment, and we'll make sure that your experience and your journey is unique to you. And we want you to feel at home. So that's why we've just gone above and beyond, and we make sure that you feel like you're a part of a family.
That's amazing. Yeah, so my next one is, what is or has been the most meaningful to you about your business?
So the most meaningful thing about working at Health Shak is being able to see people get out of pain. So we literally see people, their bodies and their lives transform like right before our eyes. And at Health Shak, we take before and after pictures of people's posture. So we get to see them get progressively better and better, and they'll feel better as well. And they'll learn a lot more about their own unique bodies. So it just makes our work like rewarding, and we get a lot out of it. It makes it like worth it. A lot of people, they also think that working with your partner isn't a good idea, and we've had a lot of people tell us, oh, that's not a good idea. I guess we'll see in a few years' time. But honestly, working with David has been so rewarding, because we get to share our successes together. We go through all the ups and downs together. And if I'm having a bad day, like, he'll pick me up and I can do the same for him. So it's been a really exciting journey.
So my next question is, what is your underlying sense of purpose?
It's a really big question, but I think it's so important, especially if you want to embark on a journey of entrepreneurship. So my big why is to help people find their voice, particularly women and women of color. I want to help them break patterns of limiting beliefs and just increase access to support, because a lot of us have been raised thinking that there's only so much that we can do, and that's not true. And I think that if you don't limit yourselves, then anything is possible.
I absolutely love that answer. I feel like I can relate to that a lot, so that's a really, really nice answer. What are the high points in your business career so far in terms of sense of fulfillment?
So getting the keys to this clinic was a big step. That's when everything became real for me, because before this point it was just an idea, and then when we got the keys, it was like, okay, we actually have a business now. So that happened during the same week as my birthday, so we had a lot to celebrate. It was a really good high point. But honestly, a major high point for me is this moment right now, because when my grandparents first immigrated to the UK from the Philippines in the early 70s, their main goal was to send their grandchildren to university. And my granddad, he left school in fourth grade because he had to go to work. So getting his children a good education was really important for him. So for me to be coming back to the same university that I graduated from, to share my story and my journey, it goes way beyond everything that my grandparents worked so hard for. And it's also the first interview I've ever done, so it means a lot to me.
Amazing. The next question is, what would you do again, and what would you do differently?
I'd go back and I'd do the crowdfunding experience all over again. A lot of people, they didn't understand why I did it, but it was such a good learning experience. You get to know who's really got your back, but most of all, you get to test your business idea, see if there's a market for it. And we were able to create a community of raving fans before we even launched, so that when it came to launching, we were able to break even in the first quarter of business. So, and that was in the middle of the global pandemic. So the only thing I would do differently is make even more noise, because that was just so far out of my comfort zone that I hesitated to share or collaborate. But I know now that you just have to put yourself out there.
Definitely agree with that. The next question is actually an interesting one. Have there been any times when you have walked away from a seeming opportunity, and why?
Very interesting. There will always be opportunities, and entrepreneurship is like an emotional roller coaster. I often question whether I've made the right decisions. Should I have stayed at my 9 to 5? But success is never linear. There'll always be their ups and downs, but you just have to trust the process. And when you become so clear on your values before you start the journey, making those decisions they'll be much easier. And I'm also getting used to trusting my gut more, because often when something's not right, you just know it and you get a feeling for it. So I'm not saying that I've always made the right decisions, but I'm grateful for the decisions that I have made, because it's brought me to where I am today, and I wouldn't be the person that I am without those decisions.
And my last question for you is, what would you say now to your younger self setting out on working life?
Network and get a mentor. Like, that was the best advice that was ever given to me, because when you find the right mentors, which I'm sure the university can help you with, they'll help you avoid making the same mistakes that they did, and that will just accelerate your learning curve, and you'll grow a lot because of it. They'll also help you to feel more confident in making your decisions, because I feel like we all need that validation that we're doing the right thing every now and then. And when you build a great team around you, that then becomes your vehicle to building something truly special. And nobody has the skill sets by themselves, but by combining different people and different skill sets, all of a sudden you've got an all-star team, and I know that I wouldn't be where I am today without my team. So I'm really grateful for them.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely a mentor. I would say that is really important. It's, yeah, incredibly important to have a mentor. But that was so inspirational. So thank you so much for taking part. I love that you're a Roehampton student as well. That's really empowering. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.